Hello and welcome back. If you've already seen part one, if you haven't, please search for it. It will be in the links in the description below. This is part two of Is Elliot Rodger Right? Of course, we all know he isn't, but I'm going to start by addressing some of the things that Elliot has said in his videos. Now, I've watched more than one, and you can find them on YouTube. When I was doing the research, I found them easily. I don't know if you can now. And all you had to do was search his name, and I want to warn you, they are chilling and very disturbing. So if you're having a bad day, do not watch them. In fact, if you want to have a good day and keep it going, do not watch them. Sorry, I just nearly threw up in my mouth just thinking about what he said. Okay, I'll get started. Sorry. The first one is, college is the time everybody experiences sex. Right. This is clearly a case of self-delusion, and clearly Elliot spent his time watching too many college movies than actually talking to people and forming relationships with them. And someone who has a sense of self-awareness and honesty and has a period of self-reflection would have made the conclusion that the ideas of college being a sex-crazed party are clearly a Hollywood fabrication and not reality. Now, it gets worse. He calls himself the Supreme Gentleman. Again, deluded and narcissistic. Everybody knows that the Supreme Gentleman would have done everything they could to stop Elliot on his path to killing. Also, GI, about alpha males. In the animal kingdom, dominant alpha males that rule a pack, or whatever the groups are that the animals are called, defend the community from outside attacks. Elliot is nowhere near close to an alpha male, and his actions have proven that animals with these inbuilt instincts are far better than him. But the most chilling thing that he says is how he blames girls for all his problems. It's misogynistic and it's obvious. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story, and I'm going to be confessing something and you're going to understand how I can understand what he went through. So, as I stated earlier, I can relate to Elliot's plight. As I was growing up and I went through puberty, I was not a popular boy. I didn't have a lot of success with sex. In fact, I admit that I was ridiculed by both males who had a lot of girlfriends and ridiculed by girls who got with a lot of guys. And this was almost on a daily basis. Now, this is a very difficult and embarrassing thing for me to admit, because no guy wants to admit that they were the unpopular individual that didn't get any. And these experiences over a 5 to 6 year period put me in a very dark, depressing place where I also experienced despair. This is the part I really don't want to admit. But here we go. Now, back in my teenage years, I believed that as a virgin, I was entitled to lose my virginity to another virgin. I was a stupid teenager, all right? And that was my ideal, and I believed that having an ideal like that elevated me above the other guys I went to school with, who just slept around with whoever they wanted. I definitely wanted a relationship that was built around love and not just solely based around sex. It sounds good, but here's the problem. As a teenager, there is a constant pressure by your peers to lose your virginity. For females, it's a vicious double-edged sword. I mean, if you give yourself to other people too much, you're a slut, and if you don't, then you're frigid. One of the worst cases of hypocrisy for me But that's a video for another time. Now, for males, you are considered to be one of the worst kinds of losers if you were still a virgin before you left high school. And surprise, surprise, I was.